Please close your eyes when you're practicing and looking at the sun. Right? You can see it through your eyelids and roll towards the wall if you're trying to roll out of body, because that's very important in our system. So I spell it out for you. Okay, now look at the pretty pictures, okay? We have the gateway, summarized. The first gateway guided meditation. This was a long time ago, okay? And it's not as good as last time, meaning I've done this multiple times. And try getting lossless VAV or FLAC format. This is wrong. I just want to correct that. The original gateway experience was on a cassette. And actually, if you see this, it actually is very clear that it's wrong, because all you need are two very simple pitches. And there are two pitches here, and they are suggesting a third pitch that actually cannot be heard by human ears. But you can imagine it when you know these two other pitches, right? And so it's very interesting, and they use a ton of techniques, and it's very interesting that they do so. Likewise, sometimes the tea doesn't have taste, right? It doesn't have taste, but it has smell, and then you can imagine the taste, right? You imagine the taste, and you have to have faith. So you got to believe in yourself, make it special, and make it very. This one the Buddhists call it venerated. Okay. Right? They call it venerated. I'm not happy with that word, but it is much better than this. Actually it doesn't mean, this thing right here and this thing right here. You're not good enough. You're not allowed to have these kind of thoughts. What I kind of want, I want absorptions and samadhi and nirvana and that cool stuff. Isn't that what everybody wants? And you see here's a guy, he's training, and he's training being conscious. And he has the ability to get into a kind of rapture. Oh my God, it's astral projection. Oh my God. And while in that state, he does it over here, but he also does it over here. And then he starts copying his consciousness into that other dimension, that other way of being. Was very fantasy-like, and he's working with time. That's the problem here. There was a clock over there. Excuse me, that was not what I saw. It was moving too fast. It's like, oh my God, we gotta practice time. I gotta practice time. And so we can say, haha, as above, so below. So something is coming out and leaving the body behind. Something is leaving the body behind here. Yeah? Something like related to digestion, right? And so doing certain practices will lead to a good digestion, and will lead to all kinds of goods. And then there can be a experience that's very mystic. It's very mystic. And you don't know exactly what's going on. You just know that shit, I need to ground myself now, but I've attained something. I've attained a new power. Why I thought we could go through the Sephiroth, because you see these are like pillars, but he's kind of, he's kind of stuck to the pillars. It's kind of like he can't get across, like you have to carry. If you're coming with me, you have to carry yourself across. What does it? Of course, the lifestyle. The lifestyle is a lot of ignorance here in the morning. Oh my God, I need to remember my dream. And then there's of course the seasonal affective disorder lamp, using it for my sadhana. And then this is not something I do every day. This is just an example. Like there's a easy practice and here, what he's meditating and then he's seeing things, right? And there's of course have to and then there's the gym, and there's the power nap, and then waking up. It's like, oh my God, hypnopompia, and it's like it goes around, freshen up, entertainment, and here he goes to bed. But now we've been doing this mystic day, So we just go into meditation, and then it happens, right? Then it happens, yeah. But then unfortunately, it's like, I got incarnated. Here we have something very important. This is past life regression. What is past life regression? It's very important, and it's very mystic. It's very mystic. Yeah, and if you don't have it, you don't have the dream symbols, and those are important to meditate on. You gotta know those dream symbols. Here it is again, like getting the past, and then the future that you want, the desirable future, I might add, and that's the present here. The present, like gotta learn time. Gotta be in the temple of the body, the one who is both experience and experience. So he's working here and trying to connect with time, and one day in the future he already did it, and that one is maybe he can give me advice, the higher self. And then, of course, working with energy in the body and feel where they're moving. So you can say the chakras are not real, but that means they cannot hurt you. And as meditating, imagining on top of his head, and here, once again, the powerful practice of going to the toilet that can lead to all kinds of things. And why? Because it's sacred. Everything we do is sacred. So people don't want to do this. I know what you're thinking. This is disgusting. But it's but it's also sacred. Okay, imagining and building gigantic chakras, like not just the ordinary chakras, but gigantic internal landscapes that are just huge factories of energy. It's more, the past retrieval. Using memory and using artifacts to access these memories, and using videos, like trying to go far back, try to figure it out. How was it? Of course, looking into the SAD lamp again. Such a powerful practice. Blinking fast while looking at the light. You might see kaleidoscopic tunnel vision and stuff like that. It's really cool. You can also use it for wall gazing. And maybe it'll open up and you'll see into another dimension. It's very mystic. Of course, connecting the Ida and Pingala energies to your arm. Then you will run into weird phenomenons, and it's like, it's very mystic. I've come so far. I've been attacked by Mara. Ground myself. I need to be close to nature. I need to go out and have some fun, have some fun and have a good day, because I need to do something grounding. You do some more gateway experience and you might find out that you astral project, and that you that this is actually possible, that you can have this, to enter trance and do a spontaneous kriya. Because you're just entering trance, you're following some advice from Paramahamsa Yogananda, and all of a sudden stuff starts happening. Consciousness is your awareness, is constantly changing. It's changed now, and you got more of an internal body map, and it's like it used to be this, just the head. I think about my head, and I think about here, and I feel here, and I feel here, and now it's like, woo, it's a woo, 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 whoa, woo, woo. It's like it's moving around, right? And did the fish get smaller, or did the pond get bigger? So literally expanding consciousness. And then you have this, and it's like, I can't do it. I can't. You want to learn to do this, but it's so difficult. And it's like, this is a good start, because this is very basic. All you want to do is just feel the positions of the different chakras, and this takes just 5 minutes, maybe. I can do this. I can get under 5 minutes doing this, but what you have to know is that this is a lot for a beginner. This is not 5 minutes of this is not a little bit for a beginner. It's a lot, okay? Because it's like there's a ton of shit stuck between different joints. Even this is a lot for a beginner, and this is, and I did this. I was like, I'm gonna be a badass. I did it for an hour, and I got diarrhea, and I got nauseated, and I almost vomited. I did not vomit. I held it in, but oh my god, you have to be careful. Of of course, we can talk about this. This is something that can happen. And when you hear rooms, but you see shapes, and that's something we say because this makes the atheist feel safe. The atheist now feels safe because this has a very natural explanation, and he doesn't have to change his worldview, and that's what we want. We want you to feel safe. And the reason why I want to mention this is that the third eye can just suddenly pop open. It can just suddenly pop open without any practice. So it's nice to know that nothing out of the ordinary. You're just gonna have to do some grounding practices, okay? Also, I want to mention what I call this right here. It's obviously major impact, and experience, and it's a major red flag when a doctrine on ascension don't even mention these, Right now, I just want to talk about being in a state of value, so that if you've taken up this practice and you don't believe the mumbo jumbo and you don't drink the Kool-Aid, you know better. You know better. I agree with you. And this was just a dream I had. The sun, it came down from heaven, but it was still the same size. And then it came in my house, and we just had breakfast together, and it was just it was really funny. I felt a early childhood memory of seeing the sun for the first time. It was so beautiful, I almost started crying, and I was overfilled with joy. And that's a feeling that you can have when you win. But look at this. Look at him, first place, and look at this, the slouch. The bad example. Do you know that this guy could also be this guy, but everybody claps for him now, but nobody looks at him, all the practice he had to do, all the failed attempts. Then it's like, ha ha ha, he failed attempts, like it's like the game. Self-help, looks maxing, persuasion, failed attempts after failed attempts. Do you know, women are on a cycle, they menstruate. And if you're one of those guys that are only attractive when women are ovulating, you're gonna have only like once a month approximately you can find a girlfriend, and that's a big problem. Yeah, because you're gonna have to try a lot, and then it's like me too. Yeah, it's gonna kill us. It's gonna kill us. It's gonna destroy the survival of our species. That stuff, It's so then we have to do this. Sukha samadhi absorption, willing it to be. So get rid of the ego, get rid of grasping and go for the happiness. It's like, I'm happy, and we call this self-help. As very. It's not mystic at all. It's not mystic at all, but it's very fucking necessary, okay? See, the thing is not that I don't want to teach, but it's like you need to be ready for what I'm about to teach, and the way you get ready is having smaller experiences, so you know that this is possible, or you know. You also need to ground yourself, right? And one way to ground yourself is through yoga, because this Sephiroth is all about holding fire and ice, and then we can go into Bhavra Chakra yoga. Here is like garland posing, like Lam, and then Ram, very unpleasant, like very aggressive, very final boss, very epic, and then he goes into the crow. And this one, the crow pose, you gotta be careful. It's all about safety. So here, Lam, Lam, and then we Brahma Granthi, they call this one. They call it the Brahma Granthi. He's sweating. Oh my God, he's so sweaty. You must fall back, because and whatever you do not break your wrist or your teeth falling forward. Okay? So this, but when you have this, and it's good, it's like this takes all your concentration, and you feel safe. Any stress, anything just goes away, you feel safe. And then you can go to Ram, Vam, Ram, and Yam. So you're pushing. You're pushing it. You're using your willpower, and you're putting your heart into it, right? The meditation spot will be mine. Very aggressively. And then you go here, And here's you're doing push-ups basically, but you're doing it a pike push-ups by using the downward facing dog and the snake pose, right? So cobra pose. Pump those pike push-ups. Put your heart in it. Put your heart in it, you know. So Yam, Tham, you know, he is doing a ton of them. And then feel it in your neck and throat, and you do this pose right here. You can call it the ostrich, you know, like hum, you know. And then garland pose again. And you go into this pose right here, go into the warrior, close your eyes. Very balanced, very carefully. Look at your hand and bring it up. And you do this with both hands until you imagine, that you hold fire and ice, and then tree pose, while arms hold Ida and Pingala, you know, and you move them around. So this is just the basic beginning, but get the first one first, because it's gonna help you gain balance. See, this position here, super dangerous. This is ACL, you know, your knee. You need your knee to be healthy, right? So be careful with your knee and make sure you get what you need.